So I hear this time and time again, but my contact number is on my contact us page. You're making it very hard for ideal clients to do business with you. We want to make it easy and remove the friction that would actually end up in that person bouncing off your website. We want to make sure we keep the traffic on the website for as long as possible, because when we do that, means that we capture more people and they end up becoming clients. Welcome to Diary of the Search Queen, the go-to podcast for salon owners ready to ditch the algorithm and get found by their dream clients on Google. I'm Sonja Raymond, aka Sonja the Search Queen, founder of the Search Republic. And after helping salons generate millions in client bookings, I'm here to show you how to create a reliable, low-stress lead flow without living on your phone. Ready to stop chasing and start filling chairs with ease? Let's go. Welcome to this week's episode of Diary of the Search Queen. I'm very excited about this episode purely because the amount of websites that we actually come across, whereby very sexy websites, but they get lots of traffic, but they don't convert into bookings or phone calls or online inquiries. The rationale is that when we inherit websites and they don't have the most important conversion points, no matter how much traffic we drive to that site, it's never going to convert into paying clients. And it's something that is really very much untapped in the industry. Specifically, like, anybody can build a website, okay? There's a big difference between building a website that is going to work and building a website that is just for the sake of building a website. It's like building a house with a skill that you don't really know much about, but then actually versus building a house with a builder that actually knows what they're doing. Now, the reality is your website should be set up like you're going fishing for your salmon. So you need to make sure that you have the right bait to get people on the website. And when I say the bait, I'm speaking about your conversion points. So that would be your phone call and email inquiry forms, your booking forms. They all should be in the right places within the website to actually encourage the user to take the next action. What we do see in the industry is that websites look very sexy, but when they don't convert, I call them Ferraris without engines. Gorgeous to look at, but sure, what's the point if they don't have an engine? So when we think about more traffic doesn't necessarily equal more clients or more bookings, I want to speak to you specifically about how to actually turn that traffic into paying clients. Now, in order to do that with your own website, to actually look at on a desktop, and then what I would like you to do is minimize it and look at what it would be like in a mobile device. So actually, even if it's too hard for you to minimize it on a desktop, take your website out on your mobile device and actually check to see what it looks like. Now, when you do that, I want you to wear the shoes of your ideal client, and I want your view to go from left to right, because that's how users actually come on a website. They start from the left and they end up on the right. So on the left, see what it says, and also look at like what's the call to action. Is there a call to action before you encourage the user to actually scroll? Now, when you haven't actually given a compelling reason for them to actually make an inquiry or reach out to your business, you've lost them because you're making them do the hard work. So I hear this time and time again, but my contact number is on my contact us page. You're making it very hard for ideal clients to do business with you. We want to make it easy and remove the friction that would actually end up in that person bouncing off your website. We want to make sure we keep the traffic on the website for as long as possible, because when we do that, means that we capture more people and they end up becoming clients. But we want to make it really easy. So if you can think about like your social media presence, definitely have your social media icons in the masthead of the website. But then if you read left to right, and then on the right hand side there's no phone number, no booking to say Forest or Get Timely or any of your booking software, and then it's very hard for your ideal client to figure out everything what you're about, well then you have to think of it like this. Your ideal client's going to book somebody else because it's just all got a bit too confusing. So we want to give them the Rolls Royce service on your website, just like how you would in the salon or in your business, for example, service-based business. You want to make sure that you can service them the same way on your website, because when you do that, it means that you can actually scale and you're not actually missing out on loads of missed opportunity, which we absolutely don't want in this environment. Because like, if you've put in all this effort to get your business to where it is and you're not doing anything about reducing the friction on your website, that is a big no-no. So the other thing what I want to speak about is that we need to make sure that the website pages are actually fully optimized to what the end user is looking for. Now, what I often see in the salon owner industry, so hair salons specifically, if you go to the service page on the website, if they're lucky enough to have a website, which some salons never had a website before, in which case I can't help you, my team can't help you. Our first step would be to build your website for you that is going to be designed to bring you your dream clients to you, okay? Because there's no point running ads or SEO when the website is definitely not going to work. But we always make that call when we meet clients first. But biggest thing that I'm seeing with a lot of the hair salons is that they have a gorgeous website, shows what they do, but then you go to the service pages and literally every single service is on the services page. So you have balayage, lived-in blondes, colour transformations, colour corrections, treatments, nanoplasty, Japanese head spa, all of that, and it's all in the one page. Google is a search engine, so basically it's a robot, and if we are sending all of the traffic to that page with talking about all of your services, it's not really relevant to what Google is looking for. So what you need to think about is that as an ideal client, if I put into Google and I'm looking for Japanese head spa, I'm looking for lived-in blondes or balayage near me, for example, and then I'm being driven to a page and it's talking about Japanese head spa, it's talking about like, if I'm looking for balayage services and I'm ended up on a page that's talking about like kids haircuts and hair treatments and all that, it's not relevant to me as a user, but also it's harder for me to find what I'm looking for. And in which case it's going to signal to Google that you're confusing Google, and in which case your cost per click goes through the roof with Google Ads as well. So what you need to do is separate your services into individual pages in the drop down menu. So one page for colour transformation, one page for balayage, one balayage and lived-in blondes, for example, because it's relevant. One page for Japanese head spa and nanoplasty, for example. That just will make things so much more cost effective and more relevant, and Google will fall in love with you, which is what we actually want. So you do have those top 3 things that we need to look at when we're looking at optimization of a landing page, and that is going to end up in your booking funnel being more effective. It is definitely that landing page, and then having that clear call to action. So not learn more, we want book now. Don't bother with the learn more stuff, because we want people to take action. We want more bums on seats. And when they actually book, what I would be suggesting is that if they don't book online, we do actually work with voice agents, actually an appointment setter, that anyone that phones through to the business, for example, there is that option whereby the appointment setter will actually book them directly in, and it would be as you're talking to a human, and they book it in specifically so you don't even have to answer the phone. How amazing is that? Because a lot of people that are clients of hair salons, a lot of them want to call to book in as well. But also make sure you're optimizing with AI as well to make that process really seamless. Now, when it comes to what we do, it's very important as well to think about your retention of your clients, because what we bring in is on top of what you are retaining. So if you're bringing in clients and they have an amazing experience, but then you're letting them walk out through the door because you haven't rebooked them, that's not really smart business. So just make sure your booking rates are really, really high. And use AI where necessary, because if you're thinking about, okay, we're bringing in all these new clients but they're leaving the back door, you need to fix that problem, because that is another missed opportunity. So we want to make sure that both the business online and the business in-house, inside in the actual shop itself or the salon itself or the business itself, that your ideal client is getting the most beautiful experience, and it's reflected on the website as well, because we just want to make sure that we're removing that friction to allow people to want to do business with you. And we need to make it convenient and easy for your ideal client to do business with you. So just to wrap it all up, you definitely do not need more leads. You need better systems that do that booking for you. And it starts at your website. I hope you've enjoyed today's episode. If today's episode spoke to your salon soul, then hit subscribe so you don't miss the next round of strategy and support. For more help filling your books without the burnout, then check the show notes and you'll find a link to the Search Republic, where we build simple Google strategies that actually work. And if we're not already connected, come and say hi to me on the gram at Sonja the Search Queen, and I'd love to hear what landed for you today.